Hello there, Code Monkeys and fellow VEDSies. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about my Patronus, which I've told you already is a golden retriever, because I think that it's an interesting conversation to have with a person to talk about what they feel their Patronus is and why it is that thing. And like I said, I've already told you that my Patronus is a golden retriever, and that is because of my old dog Kelly. And I took this off the wall in the hallway. This is her right here. That's my girl. I know I look like a massive dork in my little newbie Boy Scout uniform, but you see down there she had one of those doggy backpacks on, and she had a canteen around her neck, and isn't she photogenic? She's just a sweetie. And I think it's kind of weird how pets can really take on an almost human life. You when you're with a pet for long enough, you start to see them not so much as like, this is, an animal that I own. It's more, this is a member of my family that I love like I would love any other member of my family. Like I would love my mother or my father, or for some people, siblings. I'm an only child. I didn't have any siblings. But Kelly was the most important pet in my life, hands down. I've never really seen Jake all that much as my pet, because he's primarily just been with my mom. With my mom and dad. So we got him right around the time I was starting to get ready for college and everything. So he's been, a part of the house for a while, but I would only see him on breaks, and so he feels more to me like my mother and father's dog rather than like a family dog. But Kelly was a family dog. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but my mom did daycare in my house for many years. She's a sign language interpreter now. But so when we were looking to get a dog, we knew we had to get rid of Vaniel. Vaniel was, gosh, I can't remember what he was. He was a big black dog. I think he might have been some kind of lab. I don't really remember. But we only had him for a very short amount of time. But we couldn't keep him. He was too aggressive for a house that would have a daycare in it. He was very territorial, very defensive, and he wouldn't attack members of the family or anything like that, but he would behave aggressively towards people coming into the house. And he wouldn't attack them, but, he would growl at them, and so, like, we couldn't have that. So, we got rid of Vaniel. I don't even remember, we probably just gave him to a shelter or something like that, but, we got Kelly from a woman who couldn't take care of her anymore. Golden retrievers are very high-energy pets, or at least they have the potential to be. And there's this woman who was elderly, and she just couldn't keep up with Kelly anymore. She couldn't take care of her, so we took Kelly. And she was the pet that I grew up with, really. I mean, I only have really maybe one or two memories before Kelly. So she's basically just always been a part of my life, and she was such a great dog. She was, she was protective, but not aggressively so. She loved all the kids in the daycare. They got along with her. Even the kids that were afraid of dogs, they loved Kelly. And she actually used to, when my mom would go upstairs to start making lunch for the daycare. I mean, like she would, the daycare was in the basement, and the kitchen was on the ground level. So she would go up, and she would leave the door open, and my mom has pretty good hearing, so she would just kind of listen while she was making the food. And but what Kelly would do is she would actually come downstairs, and she would sit in the door to make sure that none of the kids tried to wander off, none of the younger kids, and she would just kind of watch over everyone, and that was that was something that was really great about her. She had a very sort of matronly quality to her, and like I said, in that picture there, she never actually went on any scout trips with me that I can remember, but she posed for this photo with me, and she's got this backpack on, and it's too small for her, and the canteen around her neck, it's not full or anything, but it's awkward. But she just sat there, and she just looked pretty for the camera. She looks better than I did in that picture, really, but because she was cool like that, she was up for anything. As long as you were happy, she was happy. She would kind of feed off your energy. If you were tired and just wanted to lie down and relax for a while, she would just kind of curl up near you, and she would take a nap right alongside you. Or if you wanted to go out in the backyard and play, or go for a nice long walk, or go on a leashed up run with the bicycle, she was up for that. She was up for anything. She was just fantastic, and she was actually the first real loss that I suffered. One of my grandparents actually died when I was very, very young. I don't really remember this grandparent really at all. So I was. It happened at an age, it wasn't the first loss in my life, but it was at an age where I was too young to really understand it, and too young to really process it, so it didn't really have much of an effect on me. But yeah, she was really the first real member of my family that I ever lost and was deeply affected by. I think it was either I can't remember if it was my junior year or senior year of high school, but she was in some kind of pain, so we took her to the vet, and we found that they did some X-rays and things like that, and we found that she had cancer, very, very advanced stage cancer, actually, throughout pretty much her entire abdomen. And I mean, there was no way to do anything about it, and so we just had to kind of make the decision right then and there just to put her down, because she had been such a wonderful dog throughout throughout basically my entire life and a good portion of my parents' life, and we would never ever want to have her suffering through any kind of pain, and so we just made that decision to have her put down. And that really, it was the first time I had dealt with a real death. I felt kind of I felt kind of alone at that time. There was a tangible emptiness in the house for a while. Um, I would come home, and for the first time since basically before I could remember, she wouldn't be there at the door to say hello. She would always come running up to the door, and she would say, just be kind of looking around and being excited to see you, and I missed that, and it really affected me for a while. It was the first time I had dealt with real loss in my life, and she was just really important to me. And it's just kind of, I don't know what the right word is, but I think it's a little bit strange that my first sense of loss and grieving was not over a family member, but over a pet. And really, I'm rather fortunate in that regard, in that I've had very little loss of family members in my life. There was Kelly, and then there was my great great aunt Frances, and that's it. With the exception of the one grandparent that died when I was very young, all my grandparents are still alive. My extended family are doing great. Obviously, my mom and dad are still around, so I I feel like, and I had friends that had, that had suffered losses like this, and for the longest time it was hard for me to identify with that, and really, I guess it was kind of, it was kind of almost in a way Kelly's last gift to me was teaching me how to kind of work through that, and how to deal with that aspect of life, and I'll never forget that dog. She was she was really great. So that is why my Patronus is a golden retriever, and I always picture her when I think of that. So if any of you would like to talk about what your Patronus might be, or really just if there's anything in your life where you find that kind of meaning, I'd love to hear about it. So yeah, until next time, code monkeys and fellow VEDSies, I will see you later.